You're about to overpay for Throttle body cleaner by 10 bucks a can. And the guy at the counter, he's counting on it. Look at this. A generic aerosol runs you about $4. The name brand can write beside it, same shelf, over 14. The solvent comes out of plants the same chemical company owns. The label on the can, that's the only thing that's different. 7 cleaners sit on the bottom shelf, and the guy keeps pointing you at the logo you already know. But most of these, they're quietly blended or owned by the giants charging you triple for the badge. Stick around for all 7, plus the 4 things you can read off any can to tell a real bargain from a cheap mistake. Number 1, SuperTech. This is Walmart's house brand cleaner, and it's the one that exposes the whole game. SuperTech doesn't manufacture anything. It's a label. The cans get filled by established solvent companies under contract. And the carb and throttle formula? Trace straight back to Johnson's, a chemical maker that's been blending automotive solvents since the 1940s. Here's what people noticed. They read the safety data sheets. And wait a minute. The SuperTech sheet and the major brand sheets list the same acetone heavy, toluene and methanol blend. Same ranges. That's not a coincidence of similar products. That's the same chemistry, in a cheaper can, under $4, while the name brand running a nearly identical sheet asks 3 to 5 times that. Most people don't know this. The ones who do, they keep 2 cans in the garage. Number 2, Berryman B-12 Chem Tool. Berryman's been making this since 1926. And unlike a house brand, this one earned its reputation the slow way, on the workbenches of actual mechanics. Walk into any independent shop and you'll find a can of it. So why is it on this list? The formula. B12 runs the same acetone, toluene, and methanol solvent core as the premium throttle cleaners. And it's rated catalytic converter and oxygen sensor safe. That's the exact spec people pay a premium to see printed on a fancier can. A single can runs around $5. And the mechanics who swear by it by the case. There's your tell. The professionals who clean engines for a living aren't buying the expensive logo. They're buying this. Now, before we go further, you need a way to check this yourself, because you shouldn't take my word for any of it. There are 4 tests, and you can run all of them right in the store. First, read the ingredient panel or pull up the safety data sheet on your phone. If acetone's listed at the top, near 70% or higher, you're holding a real solvent cleaner, not a watered-down one. Second, check for 1 printed line, catalytic converter and oxygen sensor safe. If a $3 can says it and a $19 can says it, they're making the same promise. Third, check the country of origin and the propellant. A carbon dioxide propellant with a high acetone base, that's the standard professional blend, full stop. And fourth, the slow test, the one that costs nothing but time. Spray a little on a greasy part and watch it flash off. A real solvent cleaner evaporates fast and leaves no film. Run that test once, and you'll never be fooled by packaging again. Every video on this channel runs those same 4 tests. No brand deals, no sponsorships, nobody paying me to point you at one can over another. If that's useful to you, subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it keeps this kind of breakdown coming. Number 3, Gumout Carbon Choke. This one starts under $4. And the reason it makes the list? Honesty about what it is. Gumout's been around since the 1950s, and the carbon choke spray is the same high acetone solvent story as the rest. Now here's the honest concession, because this format doesn't pretend anything's perfect. The classic Gumout carb spray is an aggressive cleaner, and aggressive solvents aren't the right tool for delicate electronics like a mass airflow sensor. That limitation's real, and it deserves to be said. But for the job it's built for, scrubbing carbon and varnish off a throttle body or a carburetor, it does exactly what the expensive can does. For a fraction of the price, same grade of solvent, same job, less money. You're paying for chemistry, not branding. Number 4, CRC. And yes, CRC is technically a name brand, so it earns a place on a cheap cleaner list for one specific reason. It's the source so many house brands copy. CRC has published safety data sheets going back years, and when people compare the cheap private label cans to the CRC sheet, the formulas line up. The standard CRC throttle body and air intake cleaner, runs roughly 80 to 90% acetone. Small amounts of toluene and heptane, a carbon dioxide propellant. That's the benchmark. Here's the part that matters. CRC itself often sells for well under $10, while boutique and dealership branded throttle cleaners running the same kind of acetone-based sheet ask far more. So even the brand everyone copies is cheaper than the labels that pretend to be premium. The explanation isn't magic, it's the absence of a markup layer. Number 5, Johnson's. Remember the company filling those SuperTech cans? You can buy straight from them. Johnson's, made by Technical Chemical Company, has been blending automotive solvents since the 1940s, and it sells its throttle body and air intake cleaner under its own name, on the same shelves. This is the contract filler skipping the store label entirely and handing the can directly to you. The formula's the same acetone-based intake cleaner the bigger names run. Built for modern fuel-injected engines, safe on metal and intake plastics. Here's the tell that closes the whole case. The thing inside a premium branded can and the thing inside a Johnson's can come off the very same production line. One adds a famous logo and triples the price. The other just sells you the cleaner. Same chemistry, straight from the source. Number 6, Valvoline. This is the one that surprises people, because Valvoline's a household name with more than a century of history behind it. You'd expect a name that big to charge for it. But look at the safety data sheet, and the trick disappears. Valvoline's throttle body cleaner runs the same acetone-based blend as the rest. Acetone above 70%, methanol, a little xylene, a carbon dioxide propellant. That's the identical solvent story you've heard 6 times now. The difference? The can sits on the shelf at an ordinary price, often right beside boutique cleaners charging double for a sheet that says the same thing. A recognized name doesn't automatically mean a premium price. Sometimes it just means the same chemistry, with a logo you already trust, and no extra markup bolted on top. Number 7, plain acetone. This is the one nobody wants you to think about, because it removes the can entirely. Strip a throttle cleaner down to its core, and what are you left with? Mostly acetone. A quart of pure acetone from the hardware store, the kind sold for paint thinning, costs only a few dollars, and it contains far more usable solvent than any small aerosol can. Now the honest concession again, because this one has real limits. A bottle of acetone has no propellant to blast into tight passages, no precision straw, no added inhibitors, so you apply it with a brush or a rag, off the car, on a removed throttle body, never sprayed near sensitive electronics or hot surfaces. Used that way with gloves and ventilation, it's the same active chemistry the cans are built around, sold by the quart instead of the ounce. Same solvent, a tiny fraction of the price.